I used to be bad at Jiu Jitsu. Like, really bad.
I was tired of getting highlight reeled and teabagged, so I decided I was going to spend 1,000 hours trying to get as good as possible. Every day for a year and a half, I trained for just under 2 hours to answer the question, just how good could I get? Well, let's see where we're starting. When I first began Jiu-Jitsu, I just tried getting really good at butterfly guard. You see, my only source of knowledge at the time was my friend Josh.
I'm Josh.
So I decided the strat would be to copy him. I started spamming butterfly sweeps and elevations, and I even got to the point where I could start hitting these moves on upper belts.
Close.
Yeah, the only problem was if I wasn't in the position to use them, well... shit. Turns out I can't just spam butterfly sweeps. It became clear I needed to diversify. That's when I realized, if nobody could pass my guard, it would be hard to lose a match. So, for the next month, I grinded guard retention and even picked up single leg X along the way. After 30 days of daily training, I had the confidence to enter my first tournament. Right off the bell, Mans tries to flip me like a desk. This wasn't intensity I had experienced in the training room before. Then, he rushes past my hips and gets control of my upper body with a head and arm. If I got past here, I'd be down 3 points and a tough spot to come back from. But I'm able to keep my composure and re-guard. Then, I sweep, mount, and even submit him. After this match, I was confident that nobody in the division would pass my guard. I was able to pick up 4 straight wins without anybody scoring a point on me. At this point, I had a 50% submission rate. It would have been higher if I didn't just flop on the straight ankle. It was all smooth sailing until my gold medal match where I would face Caden, an opponent who was obviously far more skilled than the other white belts. I attempt a butterfly sweep, but he's able to base. I had better luck with the over-under sweep and get on top for a quick 2 points. At this point, I barely knew how to base, let alone pass, so when Caden wrestles up, I go full one. I pull guard and I'm feeling pretty comfortable. I'm up 2 points and I'm able to enter Ashi, one of my best positions at the time. I hit a double ankle sweep and get Caden down to his butt. I look to take top position, but as I get up, Caden dives for a knee slice. He gets past my hips and I can just see that gold medal drifting farther and farther away. You know, there's always B team. Maybe second isn't so bad, but by some act of God, I'm able to hang on by a measly butterfly hook. And then, the unthinkable happens. My man just kinda, well, falls over. This allows me to sweep to mount, ending the match 8-0 and earning me that gold medal. The gold medal was cool and all, but ultimately beating other white belts was not my end goal. I knew I needed an edge, so I turned to the pros. I started spending every day studying instructionals on top of practice, and started analyzing all of my mistakes from training. For 8 months, I saw rapid improvement, and this pushed me to do something really, really daring. I jumped into the brown-black division. This would mean skipping all the other intermediate divisions and diving straight into the deep end. Even though I was just a white belt at the time, my first match would be against Chad, a brown belt. I try to sweep out his foot, but he catches his base. I elevate him to double unders, but that wasn't working out either. Suddenly, my opponent hits a quick cross step and gets past my hip line, so I invert to retain my guard. He follows me, so I spaz as hard as I can to get my feet to face him again. It was clear I had a weakness here. My opponent sniffs it out and steps to my hip line again, this time making me turtle. He locks in a darce and kills my dreams of first place. This was not off to a great start. I was starting to think I might have bit off a bit more than I could chew. My next opponent was Ty, a Henzo Gracie brown belt. I start off the match looking for a butterfly sweep. I get him down to a hip, but fail to secure the front headlock and return to guard. I throw my outside leg back to the inside and set up a false read. I invert onto my shoulders, but can't get my back leg free and topple over. I look for another butterfly sweep and invert into the legs when he bases, but he sits heavy onto his heels. I look to elevate him again, but then Ty hits me with this choke. He starts putting on side-to-side pressure, but I make sure my feet always face him and retain my guard with relative ease. With no sweeps nor passes, we went to the ref's decision.
You can't leave it. You can't leave it to these guys.
My last opponent was David. Just looking at him, it was clear this was going to be a tough match. He's built like a barbell, and to go home with a medal, I would need to beat him. David makes the classic mistake of falling back for a leg lock early on in the match. I put weight on my foot to defend and get an easy 2 points. I then strip his foot off my hip and dive for a knee cut, forcing David to turtle. I look to attack the turtle, but he rolls back to guard. I then do my best Rotolo impression and look to shuffle north-south, but David does a good job of keeping me in front of him. Right as we go out of bounds, I was able to secure a great passing position. A body lock with my knee inside. Alright, so we can all agree I got the body lock. But the ref must have been playing Subway Surfers or something because...
Are you a fucking retard or what?
I wasn't trying to catch a DQ, so I just reset neutral. Without that passing position, I was gonna have to fight tooth and nail to make sure I didn't lose the small lead I had. But then, in the final moments of the match, I was able to hit another knee cut. This pass would secure the win, but unfortunately, David could bench press 155. Thankfully though, the round ends shortly thereafter and I earned a spot on the podium. At this point, the 1000th hour was in sight and I knew I needed to really dial in my training. This came with a lot of no's. No's to my friends, no's to my family, no's to my girlfriend. I knew being selective with my yeses would take me where I needed to go. It was at this time that one of the best grapplers on the planet,
Jason Rao
opened a gym 50 miles away. I knew it was time to pack my bags if this was the dream I was gonna chase. At his gym, I started seeing insane growth. I really only knew inside guards like single leg X and butterfly guard, but at Vanguard, I started to learn outside position guards. And even learned a leg lock or two.
It's like that's the worst grip I've ever seen.
To see where these sacrifices got me, I tested myself at 1,000 hours with somebody prestigious. RC had been named by the IBJJF as one of the brown belts to watch at the World Championships and has previously won brown belt Pan Ams in the gi. I instantly pull myself into De La Hiva and look to start off balancing RC. He drops to a knee to deal with it, and I transfer to an underhook to start looking for K-guard. I secure a good grip on the ankle and throw the leg around and instantly start looking for the heel hook. RC pushes my legs away, so I transfer to a crab ride. Yeah, I know that crab ride was ass, but things are already going much better than my first roll with RC. He pulls my leg through into 50-50, an even position where either of us can leg lock the other at any given moment. I gain an inch of high ground in the 50-50 by unlocking his legs first, but he slips his knee line. We move to a butterfly guard and I'm able to elevate RC to double unders, but I lose it as I go to transfer to single leg X. At this point, I look to stand up and get some passing going as RC pulls guard. As I look to high step, he scoops my leg into deep half. This is RC's best position, and if I'm not careful, I can end up getting swept like last time or even worse. I look to keep my head over RC's so I don't get knocked backwards. I eventually get weight on my foot, strip his grip, and can pummel out my legs. Then I look to pick his hips up and go for a stomp bolo. His back is in sight, and if I could get there, I would be in a great position to submit RC. As he looks to get his back to the mat, I look to follow him with another bolo from crab ride, but again he pulls my leg through. He gets another scoop grip on my leg, so I drop my knee and look to step my other leg out. As I do this though, RC grabs my other leg and comes out the back door, looking to take my back this time. I get my back to the mat and he looks to come up just as the round expires. If there's one lesson I've learned throughout this journey, it's that you need to take an active and analytical approach to your jiu-jitsu. Just showing up isn't enough to be the best. Other than that, I'm still ass. If you want to see the journey after 1,000 hours, make sure to subscribe.